Good afternoon. The lesson is about rounding off. It's about what?
Rounding off.
Rounding off. And we're rounding off something is we are pulling it either up from one number to another number, or we're taking it down from one number to another number, depending on what it is. That is why it's called rounding off. Something is not perfect about the number that we're dealing with, or the number is too big, or the number is too small, or something about it why I want to make it. So it's either I'm going to round off. Most times they will tell you round off to the nearest 100, round off to the nearest 1,000, round off to the nearest 1, round off to one decimal place, round off to the nearest whole number. So we could be rounding off to just about anything that they ask us to round off to. What we need to learn, and why we're here right now, is because we need to learn the principle of rounding off. What am I learning, Chavez? Principle of rounding off. Because there is a principle that goes with rounding off. Now, for some of us, just writing the numbers, we have to learn how to make sure we can write. Okay, now let's take this number, 7,856. That's the number. And I could ask you to round this to a number of different things. So I'm going to first of all ask you to round this to the nearest 1,000. So I'm rounding this off to the nearest 1,000. Now, a little clue here. I'm rounding it off to the nearest 1,000. It means my number is going to end with 3 zeros. Because I'm rounding it off to 1,000. The nearest 1,000. So whatever the answer I get when I'm finished rounding it off, it's going to end with 0, 0, 0. I'm rounding it to the nearest 1,000. Let's look at the number. It's 7,856. In order for me to round it off to the nearest 1,000, my first step is to find the number that is in the 1,000 place, the digit that is in the 1,000 place. Tick away. Which digit is in the 1,000 place? The 7. Good. The 7 is in the 1,000 place. It's 7,856. So the 7 is in the 1,000. The 8 is in the 100. The 5 is in the tens place. And the 6 is in the ones place. So I'm rounding this to the nearest 1,000. So I take my 7. That's the first rule. The second rule is I have to now look to the right of that number. So let's go with Othniel now. I look to the right of 7, and what do I see? 8. I look to the right of 7, I see 8. And now I need to ask myself a question. What's the question, Carl, that I need to ask?
5 or more.
Is it 5 or more? Thank you. I need to ask, is it 5 or more? If it is 5 or more, I'm adding 1 to the 7. And everything else is going to become 0, 0, 0. If it is less than 5, I'm going to simply put 0, 0, 0. Okay, so is this 5 or more?
More.
More. So I'm going to do what? Add 1 to 7, and that's going to become 8. And it's 0, 0, 0. 8,000. So I just round 7,856 to the nearest 1,000, and my answer is 8,000. I'm going to round this to the nearest 100. And I'm going through the same procedure. I have to ask the same method. Which number is in the 100 place? And which number is in the 100th place? 8. 8 is in the 100th place. I'm going to look to the right of 8, and what do I see?
5.
5. So what am I going to do?
Add 1.
Add 1. So add 1 to the 8 is going to give me.
9.
So this is 7, 9.
9.
How many
900.
zeros?
2
2 zeros because it's 100. 7900. 7,900. Number 3. I'm gonna round it to the nearest
10.
10. Okay. So it's 7856. Which number is in the tens place?
5.
5. I'm going to look to the right of 5 and what do I see?
6.
So what am I going to do this time?
You're going
I'm going to add
1 to the
1 to
5.
the 5, and so this is going to become
7,
8, 6. And how many zeros?
1.
1 0 because I am rounding it to the nearest.
Tens
See that?
place.
Tens? 1 0. Hundreds? 2 zeros. Thousands? 3 zeros. Now, I could do this 7856.4, and I could ask you to round that to the nearest whole number. So here we go. We have a decimal. The whole number is over here, and we have 0.4. I'm rounding that to the nearest whole number. So I am now looking. This is the last whole number here. So this point number 4, nearest whole number. I'm rounding it to the nearest whole number. I'm following the same principle. So I look to the right, and what do I see?
4.
4. And 4 is what? Less than 5. So I'm simply going to throw it away, and my number will be 7856 to the nearest whole number. That's the principle for rounding it off. And remember, I'm rounding off to the nearest 1,000. I'm always with my number will always end with three zeros because it's something. To the nearest 100, it's always going to end with
2 zeros.
To the nearest 10, it's always going to end with
1 0.
And to my whole number, it could be anything depending on what my whole
Whole
number
is.
is. Okay, so my next class, we'll talk about rounding to decimal places. That's